showing 1.74%. On another TV, it's showing 2.56%. I don't care as long as it's going up. That's what matters. And it does seem to be going up at least a little bit. All right, currently we are in the segment of the mental health moment. And what more appropriate than the mental health moment with what we're going through today? We've got Eric Ayles joining us out of Houston, Texas. Eric, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us down there in Houston, up here in the Dallas area, so we can talk about all things spirituality, mental health, possible addictive behaviors and addiction. So thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, we've also got in studio to my left, and again, we're social distancing. I haven't kissed her today.
No, we're not doing a very good job of
Normally
social distancing. We're getting our chops busted on Facebook.
No, normally I kiss her. I'm doing better.
Well, yeah, because we're all huggers.
Yeah.
So this is hard for us. We're like doing jazz hand hugs in the air.
No,
I am.
Right, yeah, don't you dare.
Steve is. Well, Steve, oh, God bless you. That's not jazz hands.
Right,
Okay.
that's presidential
That's
queen waving. Anyways, we've got Patty Giola with us this morning. She is with Something for Kelly Foundation. Thank you so much for being here this morning with us.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having us again on this soupy day.
Soupy day. Then we've
Yes,
got
very, very good descriptor.
we've got my fellow unshaven Steve Dunn. He has joined us this morning with the Morgan Foundation.
Good morning. I'm still trying to find my lost razor blade.
We also want to, yeah, me too. We also want to thank Acadia Healthcare for their support and bringing us the mental health moment every Tuesday. Anytime that you have a need and the desire to get some help, get a hold of Chris Getz at 469-400-7499. That's 469-400-7499. All right. So, Steve, Patty, we've got Eric on with us. We've got a lot going on. Probably could use a lot of spirituality and a lot of help right now with everything that's happening. Anxiety's got to be high. Depression's got to be high. Possible addictions are rising. Whoo!
Absolutely. And Eric, along those lines, first of all, thank you for joining us today. As I understand, you are the president of the Spiritual Care Network. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
I'd love to. Okay, so the Spiritual Care Network, the mission is to bridge the gap between mental health providers, addiction recovery professionals, and the faith community. And we do that through collaboration and education. We actually have 10 groups that meet around Texas every month. We have Dallas has a group, Fort Worth, the Woodlands, Katy, Clear Lake, Houston, Corpus Christi, Tyler, Austin, and San Antonio. So we have a tight group that there's around 30 to 40 people that meet in each city every month, and we have speakers, we network, and we want to be resources in the faith community for people that are struggling with mental health and addiction. And we know a lot of people go to their faith leaders when they're struggling, or family members, and sometimes there's a disconnect, and we want to be there.
Now, Eric, you are also associated with the Starlite Recovery Center. Can you tell us a little bit about them and what they do as well?
Yes, that's my real job, I guess I should say. I'm the Director of Business Development for Starlite Recovery Center. We say we are the oldest addiction treatment center in Texas, in the Hill Country by Kerrville, over 60 years old, and we have some tracks that we specialize in. We are a residential treatment center for drug and alcohol treatment. And we do cover the co-occurring issues, any kind of trauma, depression, anxiety, things like that are associated with addiction. We have a track that really fits into the Spiritual Care Network. It's a Christian track called The Journey. And so we address the spiritual beliefs of our clients. We also have a military first responder track. We even take military families and active military. We have an adolescent program for teen females. We don't do the males, just the girls from 13 to 17 years old that need addiction treatment. And we have an LGBT track that specializes in that culture. So that's what we do at Starlite.
Eric, excuse me. Eric, you mentioned this Christian track. Is it primarily Christian spirituality, or is it interfaith as well?
It's non-denominational. We do open it up to any kind of beliefs, even though we do have we offer Bible studies with the Life Recovery Bible. We have a pastor that comes on the weekends that does sermons in our beautiful chapel there on the campus. And if the clients feel a great awakening while they're in treatment and want to be baptized, we could actually baptize them right there on the campus.
Oh, wow. That's
That's interesting.
amazing.
So you mentioned the various tracks that you have, and I know that I was advised that the intersection of the Christian tract and the LGBTQ have developed in an interesting way. Could you describe a little bit more about those two groups as they relate with each other?
Yeah, it is kind of beautiful. The LGBT, well, all our clients have a choice if they go to a big book study or the recovery Bible study, and we have other modalities they could choose from when they're going through their treatment process. It's an individually based program, so we want to reach out to the client and their needs. But a lot of the LGBT clients in the Freedom Track is what we call it, the Freedom Track, select to go to the Journey program, which is the Christian track. A lot of times they have felt put down, stigmatized in the churches. They have a lot of shame and guilt, and they find that this group is non-judgmental and accepting, and it covers any hurts, habits, or hang-ups, and they feel safe to work up there, and it's really kind of a neat combination.
Today we're facing perhaps an unprecedented time in our nation's history, and we're going to have so many people being isolated in their homes. Along with that, what type of mental health issues is that type of isolation and the fear that has gripped so many of us today? What have you seen, and what has your experience been in terms of the unique mental health issues that arise from what is going on right now?
Yeah, it's definitely a dual issue, with addiction and mental health. There's a lot of stigmatism still, even though I see just in the last, 5 years that the churches are now opening up and having counseling centers and support groups and things like Celebrate Recovery and Grief Share and Divorce Care and things like that our churches are opening up. And that's so important, because it could be the person sitting right next to you in the pew that is struggling. And a lot of times in our churches, we don't know how to address those kind of issues. We don't know the what's out there to refer them, to treatment if they need detox or need residential program. And sometimes we don't know how to react to them too, as family or friends, when they're struggling.
So, Eric, this is JP here. Got a quick question for you. Let's say, and we all do, well, a good majority of us anyways, have social media up and running, and we have people that we know. I hate using the term friends. I've got 5,000 people on my Facebook page, and a handful of them are my friends. The rest of them are contacts. They're people I might be acquainted with. But when you start seeing people hit your news feed with things that they're posting, how do you identify that it may be time to privately message and say, hey, is everything okay? If not, I may have a number for you, or I may be able to help you find your lost cause. How do you recognize that? How do you identify it? What do you look for? How do you not overstep your bounds? How do you not push that person away from potentially needing to be or wanting to be in treatment?
Good question. Yeah, a lot of times there's a lot of denial, a lot of excuses, but when people hit that level that they admit there's a problem, step one, they admit that they do need help, we got to react quick, and we got to reach out and provide the resources for them to call, and whether it's outpatient or an inpatient program or simply a counselor, we got to react quick before they decide, well, it's not as bad as I thought. And that happens quite a bit.
So, but how do I identify it? Like, I'm a layman, I'm not a counselor, you know, and I'm seeing them post memes, or I'm seeing them post quotes that kind of carry a negative connotation. How does that not just them just posting versus, hey, we may have a mental health issue?
Yes, especially when it gets to the point of, suicidal, text and words and comments, and that gets scary. And we have to be sensitive with that, but react right away and be there for them, help them through the process, and connect them to the right people.
Very good. In fact, that question was brought to you by Acadia Healthcare. If you feel the need but don't have the ability to feel like you can publicly reach out and want privacy with your very own individualized conversation, contact Chris Getz at 469-400-7499, 469-400-7499.
Eric, when you meet with counselors and therapists, doctors as well, how do you talk to them or convince them that spirituality is an important part and needs to be included in their treatment guidelines?
Yeah, we invite counselors to speak on that topic a lot at our meetings, and some of the recent ones were so powerful on using the power of prayer in the treatment process, and how it just empowers people. It gives them a higher power, a God, whether it's Jesus, to just latch on to and give them that support, and using the Holy Spirit to give them power as well. And a lot of people, they have the hole in their soul. There's something missing, and it's all part of the mind, body, and soul part of treatment, which is so important.
We know that one of the steps in the 12-step program involves precisely that. But in terms of treating issues like anxiety, depression, those type of things, how do you try to incorporate spirituality so that a person understands that there's something that's greater than themselves, perhaps looking out after them, that they can hold on to as another source of help?
Yes, some of the programs like Celebrate Recovery and others that other churches have developed, there's a direct correlation between the 12 steps and biblically based teaching. Like the first one, admit that you have a problem. In Romans, it talks about, I know that nothing good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. And it even talks about that in the Bible. And it's so important to bring in that spirituality into the recovery process.
So to those doctors and treatment professionals that do not embrace spirituality as part of their program, what do you do to try to convince them they're missing out on an incredibly important part of the process?
It's one of those things that we discuss in our meetings and give different options on just embracing a sober life with a spiritual background and support from churches.
All right. Well, Eric, stay with us. We continued that conversation through the break. And so that way our social media can gather that and listen to what great information you have. I want to thank you so far for what you've been able to do for us and talk us through how spirituality can mix in with our treatment plan, how to make contact, who we should make contact with. And again, we want to thank Acadia Healthcare again for their support of the mental health moment. If you do feel that you just cannot reach out to just anybody, we have a private line set up for you. You can contact Chris Getz at 469-400-7499. And that was on the dot.
Yeah, it was. Good timing.
Thanks.
Cut off just in
I think
time.
you've done this before, JP.
Once.
Maybe. Eric, thank you so much for all this great information.
So the mayor of Miami has the coronavirus.
Is he
No.
self-quarantined?
He is self-quarantined and showing no symptoms.
Did he have fever?
Nothing. No symptoms.
So not even.
No symptoms.
See, now I thought yesterday that Dr. Clothier said you have to have fever, high fever,
No. You don't. You
to have
can.
it.
You can walk around with it. It's like with
That's scary.
what is it that I carry around and I don't ever get sick?
Many,
Oh,
many
Lord.
things. Many.
That's a loaded question.
You guys are hilarious. Just saying.
Just saying.
Well, it's like this year. I've been around a ton of people with the flu and never have caught the flu.
Well, wait, what do you carry around?
I'm trying to remember what it is that I don't. It's not.
Plead the fifth, John.
Yeah. Okay. Plead the fifth.
No, Mike, no, I want to know more.
No.
Inquiry minds want to know.
Trying to think if it's like strep throat and I'll carry it, but I don't get it because I got it one time and I was done. Why don't I just carry it around all day? It's if I get around somebody, but I don't get sick.
Am I 6 feet away from you now?
Maybe
You have not.
maybe.
We're not social distance. We're
Eric, I'm
breaking the
interested.
rules.
What type of pushback have you received on incorporating spirituality in the process?
There's a wide variety of beliefs in what is spiritual, and it could go to the extreme sometimes. And so, especially on our Facebook pages, we have to monitor what people try to post. So,
Okay, so
but yeah, overall, it's very well received.
have there been counselors that have reached out and said, no, we do not believe, there's no evidence base that shows that a belief in God should be incorporated in the recovery process?
You know, actually, I've heard the opposite. I've heard a lot more that say that there is evidence-based with how spirituality helps the healing process. So, no, actually, I haven't had any pushback on that.
Do you have some personal stories of how spirituality has impacted patients in recovery?
You know, it is just a beautiful thing with the clients that, you know, just like Bill W. that had a great awakening and that choose to get baptized and just go that extra step and announce their faith and just have this new awakening. It's really cool.
Eric, so when we come back on the air in about 4:45 here, we're going to give you time to talk some more about the spiritual care network, how people get in touch with you, your website, that sort of thing. And feel free to, if there's anything we've not discussed yet of importance to you, by all means, let's discuss that too.
Okay.
Hmm.
10 seconds.
Good morning. Welcome back to 1160 AM KBDT News Talk Sports. We're JP, Kathy, and the crew. We come to you live Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Today is the Mental Health Moment, brought to us by Acadia Healthcare. Also, if you're in need of help or assistance and you want to have a one-on-one conversation, you can give Chris Getz a call with Acadia Healthcare at 469-400-7499. That's 469-400-7499. It is currently 8:54 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And JP, we are at 64 degrees currently. We are headed towards a high of 71, a low of 66. Rain is on its way this afternoon, so bring your umbrella if you have to leave.
Just real quick, also breaking news coming in right now. The Secret Service has activated service protocols, protective protocols for Joe Biden.
Oh, my.
Details to be released. So
Oh,
again,
my,
just
okay.
to let you know, the Secret Service has in fact issued protective protocols for presidential candidate Joe Biden and our
praying for his safety.
our vice president,
Absolutely, yes.
our
former vice president.
former vice
yes.
president. So, all right. So, Steve and Patty, here we go. We're taking it home. What can we do?
Well, that is a good question for our guest here, especially with so much fear out there today and people isolating themselves in their home. They might think that there's no avenue that they can embrace to get help. Eric, what are some things that people who are isolating in their homes, what are some things that they can do to get help?
We have 24/7 phone lines that are open at Starlite for anybody to call and talk to our admissions team, our counselors about how to get help. Anytime, night or day, we could do actually a phone assessment and help people, figure out if residential treatment or outpatient is the kind of care that they need.
Eric, would you share that phone number for our listeners, please?
I'll be glad to. So our phone number to Acadia is 866-863-1164, or you could go to Starlite, L-I-T-E, recovery.com to get more information.
Eric, in addition to those things, do the counselors at Starlite also do Zoom and Skype, so you could actually see the face of the person you're talking to as you discuss your fears and concerns?
Interesting you asked that, because we do that now. In fact, we're implementing that with our family programming. That is a very important part of the recovery process, is to work with the families. And so we offer Zoom counseling so that we could be respectful of the coronavirus issues that are going on right now. Yeah.
So for those persons right now who may be struggling with addiction issues, and if you believe you have a friend or family member or loved one, what are certain signs that they should look for, and what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, it's interesting that men and women go to treatment for different reasons, and people send them to treatment or help them get to treatment for different reasons. Mostly men, you see the court systems, employers, and a lot of times their wives encourage them to go to treatment. The women, a lot of times it's their children or their parents that encourage them to go to treatment. You'll be all right. Look for signs like, erratic behavior, a lot of excuses, whether it's drugs or alcohol, the not taking care of themselves, and masking other mental health issues like depression or anxiety, and trying to use the drugs and alcohol to self-medicate.
Eric, so for those people who are listening to us now and online afterwards, what are some last pieces of advice you would give to them to get help?
Yeah, just call right away. We're there. We can identify the other issues, trauma, depression, and that's what we do. We have an excellent medical team and counselors to help with any of those issues.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Good to hear your voice, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, do well down in Houston.
And stay healthy, and St. Patrick's Day blessings to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eric, for coming in.
All right, again, we want to thank Acadia Healthcare for all that they do. And again, if you need that one-on-one conversation, get a hold of Chris Getz at 469-400-7499. We are JP, Kathy, and the crew. We're signing off for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Kaboom.
And we need to put the Acadia number. Can you put that into the feed?
Are you in my? You're in my space again.
Oh, I know. I am not social distancing.
Ah!
Oh my gosh! Please put the number in there so somebody can see that.
My Lysol shield.
I know. Okay, I need it over here. I got to wipe all this down when I leave.
Eric, thank you so much,
Yeah, Eric,
for
that's
being on
fantastic.
with us. I know we rushed through the prep yesterday, but I think it was a very informative, great show, and I think hopefully a lot of people get a lot of good from this.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah, well, thanks.
this is a God thing, having you on at this time so people can get the help. I think this is such an important, and like on social media, the posts that I really am drawn to and really moved by are the ones that are talking about faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Just kidding.
Well, and I'll be glad to help out in the future with. I reached out to our medical director, Dr. Davis. He couldn't speak today, but he said he'd be glad to in the future. And he's a very interesting guy. He was a toxicologist, and now he's an addictionologist. But which toxicology makes him really good at doing the detox as well. So
wow,
we'll try to get him on in the future.
That'd be wonderful.
That would be awesome. All right.
Next week on the Mental Health Moment, we have he's going to be one of the more unique people we've had.
Okay.
Dr. John Toros, Torous. He is at one of the Harvard hospitals. I think he's the only doctor I've ever known who has a degree in electrical engineering, and then he went to med school. So we're going to be talking about technology.
Talk about right brain, left brain,
Absolutely.
and all that shebang.
I had the pleasure of meeting him when he was in town, and you know how you run into some folks and you know that their IQ is about 100 points above yours
yes.
right away. So
I run into people like that every day. It's called everyone I meet.
So we're going to discuss how technology impacts the mental health treatment next week.
Oh, that's going to be
Should
great.
be fascinating.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Eric, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, sir.
Have a blessed day.
No problem. Enjoyed it.
Thanks,
All
Eric.
Thanks, folks.
All
Thank
right.
you, Eric.
So,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
So just give you a quick update. 4,600 people have tested positive. 85 have died here in the U.S. Again,
Is this the latest CDC numbers from yesterday, I'm assuming?
It's
Where is
Fox
this coming from?
Like yesterday's CDC numbers weren't the same as what was being released by the press. So I don't know. They've got different numbers. Anyways, here's what I'm saying, though. We're increasing the number of people tested. And I gave you these numbers earlier today. Out of 40,000 people tested, 3,600 had tested positive as of yesterday. But 34,000.
John David Wells, can you please hang up because it's like
Well, it's
ringing
not
and
that. I
doing.
think it's a national show.
Oh, it may be. There you go.
But again, that's about 10%. And so again, we have Gallup polls that are done of only 4,000 people. That's a 40,000 person sampling.
There needs to be, everybody needs to be reporting from the same, like the CDC numbers need to be what everybody's reporting.
So here's what we got. So U.S. testing for COVID-19, 49,423, 4,380 are positive, 43,000 are negative, 1,969 tests pending. Again, we're staying at about 10%.
How long does it take to get those test results back? Because I know, like when you get tested for the flu, it's like a rapid, test, and you get it in like 15 minutes while you wait.
Do you know, Steve?
I do not know, but I was. Could you expand a bit on the pronouncement about Vice President Biden? What exactly
Not
that means?
much has been released yet. Let's see if we can find it. Hold on.
I mean, historically in the past, when that has occurred, has it been because of an illness, an assassination attempt?
Well, something's.
I think it's Bernie Sanders lost his mind.
That's what Lee said. What a mess. But no, we don't wish any ill will towards him.
Biden campaign takes first step forward. Okay, so here we go. That was 4 days ago. 5 days ago. This is breaking.
So it's
news.
so breaking that there's not even specifics on it.
So I've got to go to Fox
But
News.
Secret Service was alerted, you said, or
Yes.
engaged,
No,
or
they've-
activated?
Right. Well,
Wow.
they've activated protective
Wow.
measures. Hold on.
I guess could be
7
anything.
hours ago, Biden faces home state pushback over new fracking. Biden at 20 points in Arizona. Joe Biden, Fox News. Let's see if it is on here. Primaries go forward. Biden declared winner. No. So I need to go to the homepage. Because it was Fox News that broke it.
Oh, it must be fake.
So you saw it. I mean, it hasn't even come across their news feed. It came
So-
across on the TV.
On TV.
Okay.
So first person's been given the injection for the coronavirus up in Washington.
For a vaccine?
Well,
Is it
yeah.
a test vaccine?
Well, this is their trials. They're doing the trials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Stimulus package. Financial. It's not on their website.
Ah, social distancing. I'm just teasing. Patty, he's
Why
micro
am I
and macro
unplugged?
aggressing me with non-social distancing. Ah,
Yeah, it's
that's
not.
going to live with me for 15 minutes.
It's not on the website. It was
So
on,
it's
it was on TV.
so breaking that they don't even know the situation yet. Well, they're not going to. You don't want to get fake news on that. Love y'all. Hey, y'all be healthy, and then we will see y'all
Hey,
next
text me
Tuesday.
a specific time and day you want to get together, so that way we can make that happen. Yes. So send me a
Oh.
text so we can meet.
That's a bummer.
You never asked me to send you a text message.
Well,
Well, that's because that's ongoing with you.
Love y'all. Be safe. Y'all be healthy. Thank you.
Nothing on the website. It was just up there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and not delete. I'm going to end the live video.
Don't delete this one.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Be blessed, be safe, and be healthy.
I say I'm going to end it.
And then I'm going to get in there and I'm going to